What's up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video for today. So let's take a look at this, guys, because I showed you this yesterday already, but just to sum everything up, look at this picture. This picture paints a lot of what is going on right now, and you cannot make this stuff up, guys. These are real news from all the banks going into maintenance over the weekend. Look how many. Is this coincidence, guys? I do not think so. We're talking about the Bank of China, HSBC, Ripple Partners. We're talking about Indian banks are closed. We're talking about Cambridge Trust Private Bank, Credit Agricole Bank, Meku Bank. Guys, these are massive banks all over the world, and they are upgrading their own systems as well. Now, you can think that this is coincidence, but with all the price action that we have been seeing from the past days, we can clearly see that this small move may be the beginning of that bigger move that we need, because those daily candles that we see on the chart of XRP, guys, there is a lot of volume behind that. It has been a while before we have seen such volume, right? We were consolidating small candles, nothing happening, and now boom, we have big candles showing us a lot of volume now. And I'm telling you, everything is lining up together. All the banks are failing, and now all the banks are doing maintenance. April 1st, April 2nd, April 3rd, it's all the same thing, right? So please be aware of this, because this may be your last chance to really understand how to position yourself here, right? This is really close, guys. Am I the only one that is getting the vibe? It's almost time for the adults in the room to tuck the children in for night with their blanket. Let's take a look at this guy, what he's saying, guys.
In essence, I'm not a strong believer in Bitcoin. It is a developing asset, potentially. And for all the reasons it's a strong developing asset class, it may fail. Remember, part of the integrity of an asset.
Now listen carefully to what he's saying, guys. This is not to hate on Bitcoin or anything. Just understand the logic behind this, and you will understand why XRP is the truly chosen token that will change everything.
Class, or part of the integrity of a system, is knowing who owns it and knowing who has it and knowing why it's being transferred. And is it being used for legitimate causes? Is it being used for good? Or is it being used for illegitimate causes? Is it being used in corrupt practices and corrupt ways? The Bitcoin system today has no transparency to it. So there are a lot of people that question, why would you need a system that does not have an audit trail, does not have integrity? You don't know who owns it. You don't know exactly how much exists today, how much has been mined, how much has been lost, how much has been thrown away on hard drives because they don't exist anymore. So it lacks some of the basic integrities of a real market.
So as you start to see this play out, obviously Bitcoin appears right now to be the most likely candidate to kind of fill this role. Are there other aspects, technologies, digital currencies that you think could potentially fill this role? Or is it just Bitcoin, and that's kind of the one shot we have for kind of a nation state agnostic currency?
Here, but yeah, the only one I see that actually can reserve that, I think that has the security of being like a global reserve asset is something like Bitcoin.
If you think about the XRP transaction from one regulated financial institution, a bank or a payment provider, they're doing what's called a KYC check, which references know your customer. There's a global regulatory framework around KYC. That's at both endpoints of an XRP transaction, into and out of. So
Ripple decided earlier on that we wanted to be at kind of the infrastructure layer. There's a whole bunch of strategic issues associated with that.
Now you understand this message, guys. They are not going to use something which has no transparency. Please understand this. It is not going to be used. And it doesn't have the technology. It just doesn't have the infrastructure that is needed to go into this next step, right? So understand that Bitcoin is very nice, guys. It's like, if you watch it from a point of view of being anonymous and having no control over your money, yes, Bitcoin does have that. But the thing is, it's just not something for the future. We cannot go on something like that, right? And here is another one. Fam Biswa Brata, check Chakravorty, Chief Information Officer at Indusland Bank, a Ripple partner. Look what he's saying, guys. Listen carefully. Again, this will show you how far Ripple already is.
I would also say that if you look at the kind of e-commerce as a market by itself, I think the recent report I read that about 20% of e-commerce is already global. So thanks to Amazon, eBay, and so on and so forth. Now these kind of companies are already transacting, or customers are transacting globally on these platforms. So what I'm trying to say here is that the shift is happening in terms of the overall market in the remittances in the cross-border space, depending on the business models. The customer is definitely driving a lot of this in terms of their demand for more convenience, demand for speed, demand for quick settlement, low error rates, and of course transparency. So those are some of the, I would say, challenges, or not the challenges, the way the market is changing. Challenges wise, I think we've already heard challenges there are many challenges, and we are all in the banking space and in the fintech space working collaboratively to solve for these use cases. So for example, I represent IndusInd Bank, so we have done a cross-border inward remittance platform tie-up with Ripple, which is a blockchain platform. A couple of large banks are already tied up with us and they're putting in transactions daily through this platform. I'll talk a little bit as we go along, but it clearly has a lot of benefits on the blockchain side. So we are trying to see what other use cases can be added onto that and how it can make our customer experience a lot better.
Sure. Now he's literally saying that there are already a large banks connected to that, right? So they're using Ripple, large banks are connected to that. That is why we can see that this is the way forward. This is the only thing that banks are using right now. You cannot find other interviews with, there may be a few that other cryptocurrencies that are really being used by large institutions today, but not many, guys. It's literally a few. Imagine being an XRP army and hanging your entire bull thesis on helping banks transfer money faster instead of embracing Bitcoin freedom money. Now, this is the big problem with people that are endorsing Bitcoin, right? They're not looking realistically. Yes, Bitcoin has the freedom, but does it have everything to be used for future cases? It just doesn't. This is just the reality, guys. We have to accept reality. So you can either invest in something that is having an unknown future, which can go any direction. And when regulation really hits the fan, you cannot bet on Bitcoin. It's just impossible, right? Or you can bet on something that has really everything put in its favor for a future system that is going to be used by large institutions. Remember, follow the big money. You cannot follow something that is just unknown, because that will cause for unknown results, right? So XRP is one of the fewer, like, safest bets on the market right now, especially with everything that is going on right now. XRP overtakes Bitcoin in volume on top 4 Korean exchanges. Never happened before, guys. Bitcoin has always been #1 in terms of volumes. Now, for the first time, we can see that on Korean exchanges, XRP is overtaking them. What do you think will happen when XRP really hits $1, $2, and when people really start seeing why XRP is so efficient, why it's going to be used? Imagine it will overtake #1 place after the lawsuit, because once the lawsuit ends, guys, which is very, very near, price is going to spike, whether you like it or not, 100%, right? If that happens, it can be #1. Once it overtakes #1, it's going to be like a rocket blowing off, guys, because everyone is going to FOMO into it. No evidence R3 will use XRP except the CEO of its largest shareholder tweets about it, right? So this was also a problem long time. People are thinking that R3 Corda has nothing to do with XRP. Yet here we have the CEO talking about crypto liquidity and the future of tokenization, and he's mentioning Ripple, right? Why would the CEO of R3 Corda do that? Think about that. Also related to SBI, by the way, which is a big advocate for Ripple and a Ripple partner as well. So I hope you can all see this, guys. This is another decode where he says we are at the finish line, right? In Morse code. Now, all the things considered, guys, we can clearly see how far we are right now and how close we are to a verdict of XRP not being a security and becoming the #1 cryptocurrency in the world. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.